CDL Practice Test, California, General Knowledge, Part 1. Question number 1. Legal maximum weight limits may not be safe in all of the following, except A. Winter, B. A storm, C. Traffic, D. Mountain driving. The correct answer is C. Traffic. Explanation. Maximum weight limits may not always be safe, especially in bad weather or steep mountain driving. Traffic is a fact of life, though. Question number 2. Within how many days must you notify your employer of any traffic violations, except parking? A. 60, B. 30, C. 10, D. 14. The correct answer is B. 30. Explanation. If you have a traffic violation in any vehicle you are driving, including your personal vehicle, you must notify your employer within 30 days. Question number 3. In a 7-day period, you are permitted to drive a maximum of hours. A. 65, B. 70, C. 50, D. 60. The correct answer is D. 60. Explanation. In a 7-day period, you may only be on duty for 60 hours. If your employer operates 7 days a week, you are not eligible to be on duty after 70 hours in 8 days. You must then take 34 or more consecutive hours off duty. Question number 4. An A, B, C type fire extinguisher is designed to work on which types of fires? A. Electrical, B. All of the answers, C. Gasoline, D. Wood, paper, and cloth. The correct answer is B. All of the answers. Explanation. The B, C type fire extinguisher is designed to work on electrical fires and burning liquids. The A, B, C type is designed to work on burning wood, paper, and cloth as well. To fight a fire in combustible metals, you need a specialized D type fire extinguisher. Question number 5. What does the acronym HOS stand for? A. Hours of Safety, B. Hours of Standard, C. Heat of Standards, D. Hours of Service. The correct answer is D. Hours of Service. Explanation. HOS stands for Hours of Service. HOS rules limit how many hours a driver can work and/or drive in a single shift. They also regulate the minimum number of rest hours that a driver must be given between working shifts. Question number 6. Where should you place your warning devices if you must stop on a one-way or divided highway? A. 50 feet, 100 feet, and 150 feet toward approaching traffic. B. 100 feet, 200 feet, and 300 feet toward approaching traffic. C. 10 feet, 100 feet, and 200 feet toward approaching traffic. D. 20 feet, 50 feet, and 100 feet toward approaching traffic. The correct answer is C. 10 feet, 100 feet, and 200 feet toward approaching traffic. Explanation. This is required by Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations Part 392.22, issued by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA. Those regulations also specify where to place warning devices on other types of roadways such as two-way roads and curves. Question number 7. Which of the following is not true regarding the signal light inspection? A. Rear turn signals must be clean and operating. B. The front turn signal must be amber or white. C. Rear turn signal may be red, yellow, or amber. D. The front turn signal may be yellow or red. The correct answer is here, D. The front turn signal may be yellow or red. Explanation. Front turn signals must be amber or white, whereas rear turn signals may be red, yellow, or amber. Question number 8. Which of the following cannot be checked at the same time? A. Brake lights and red reflectors, on rear. B. Headlights and amber reflectors. C. Brake lights, turn signals, and four-way flasher functions. The correct answer is here, C. Brake lights, turn signals, and four-way flasher functions. Explanation. In step 5, walk-around inspection, of the 7-step inspection method, you walk to the front of your vehicle to check that the turn signals and four-way flashers are working. Obviously you can't check all your brake lights from that vantage point. Question number 9. What are the proper collision procedures that are required for any collision in which you are involved but not seriously injured? A. Both of the above are required procedures. B. Protect the area and notify the authorities. C. Care for the injured and collect required information. The correct answer is here, A. Both of the above are required procedures. Explanation. If you've been involved in an accident, first try to prevent another accident. Move your vehicle to the side of the road, switch on your four-way flashers, and set out your warning devices. Next, notify the appropriate authorities and request emergency assistance. Until emergency personnel arrive, do what you can to help others. Don't move injured persons unless there is a danger of fire or explosion. Try to keep injured persons from becoming chilled or overheated. If you've been trained in first aid, help the injured. If someone is bleeding, apply pressure to the wound to stop it. Question number 10. To prevent a load from shifting, there should be at least one tie down for every feet of cargo. A. 7. B. 10. C. 15. The correct answer is here, B. 10. Explanation. The rule is one tie down for every 10 feet of cargo, but at least 2 tie downs regardless of how small the cargo is. Question number 11. Checking your vehicle's suspension does not include checking A. The shock absorbers. B. The tires. C. The axle positioning parts. D. The air suspension components. The correct answer is here, B. The tires. Explanation. Checking the suspension includes checking the springs, axles, shock absorbers, torque rods or arms, etc. The tires are on a different checklist. Question number 12. It is important to shift gears correctly to keep A. the engine warm, B. control of the vehicle, C. the engine oil flowing. The correct answer is here, B. control of the vehicle. Explanation. For full control of your vehicle, you need to know when and how to upshift or downshift. Learn under what special conditions you should downshift. For example, learn how to use engine braking to slow your vehicle on a steep descent. Question number 13. Which of these is not part of the basic method for shifting up? A. accelerate while pressing the clutch and turning toward the driver's side. B. release the clutch and press the accelerator at the same time. C. release the clutch. D. push in the clutch and shift into a higher gear at the same time. The correct answer is here, A. accelerate while pressing the clutch and turning toward the driver's side. Explanation. You must release the accelerator, push in the clutch and shift into neutral at the same time. Release the clutch, let the engine and gears slow to the required RPM for the next gear. Push in the clutch and shift into a higher gear at the same time. Then release the clutch and press the accelerator at the same time. Acceleration is not involved until the very end, and definitely not while pressing the clutch. Question number 14. A moving vehicle ahead of you has a red triangle with an orange center on the rear. What does this mean? A. the vehicle is hauling hazardous materials. B. it is a law enforcement vehicle. C. it may be a slow-moving vehicle. The correct answer is here, C. it may be a slow-moving vehicle. Explanation. Some vehicles, by their nature, are slow, and some of these will have the slow-moving vehicle symbol to warn you. This is a red triangle with an orange center. Question number 15. Which of the following should you not do when you are being tailgated? A. increase your following distance. B. avoid quick changes. C. speed up. D. avoid tricks such as flashing your brake lights. The correct answer is here, C. speed up. Explanation. Most tailgaters aren't deterred by the vehicle ahead exceeding the speed limit. Do not fall into the trap of increasing your speed to get away from or appease a tailgater. Simply continue at a safe speed and, if possible, move into another lane to let the tailgater pass. Question number 16. In your mirror, you see a car approaching from the rear. The next time you check your mirror, you don't see the car to change lanes. You should A. wait until you are sure the car isn't in your blind spot. B. ease into the other lane slowly so the other car can get out of the way. C. assume the car left the roadway and change lanes as usual. The correct answer is here, A. wait until you are sure the car isn't in your blind spot. Explanation. Before you change lanes, you must first make sure that no vehicles are hiding in your blind spots. Question number 17. Escape ramps are A. used to get out of a burning truck. B. for combination vehicles only. C. used to stop runaway vehicles. The correct answer is here, C. Used to stop runaway vehicles. Explanation. Escape ramps are located on many steep mountain grades. Escape ramps are built to stop runaway vehicles safely without injuring drivers or passengers. Escape ramps use a long bed of loose, soft material such as gravel to slow a runaway vehicle, sometimes in combination with an upgrade. Question number 18. When roads are slippery, you should A. Make turns as carefully as possible. B. Decrease the distance that you look ahead of your vehicle. C. Stop and test the traction while going up hills. The correct answer is here, A. Make turns as carefully as possible. Explanation. On slippery roads, avoid sudden moves that could lead to a skid. Drive slowly and smoothly, accelerate, brake, and turn gradually and gently. Question number 19. The total weight of the powered unit, the trailer, and the cargo is called A. Gross combination weight. B. Gross axle weight. C. Gross vehicle weight. The correct answer is here, A. Gross combination weight. Explanation. The gross combination weight is the sum of the gross vehicle weight, GVW, of the power unit and the GVW of each towed unit. A vehicle's GVW is its weight when fully loaded. Question number 20. When driving in hot weather, how often should you check your tires? A. You should check your tires every hour. B. Your tires should be checked every time you stop. C. Your tires should be checked at the beginning and end of each trip. D. Your tires should be checked every 100 miles or every 2 hours. The correct answer is here, D. Your tires should be checked every 100 miles or every 2 hours. Explanation. It is important to check your tires at least every 2 hours or every 100 miles to ensure they have proper pressure and are not overheating. Question number 21. What is your most valuable way to see the sides and rear while driving? A. Get out and inspect the areas. B. Check your mirrors regularly. C. Look out the window. The correct answer is here, B. Check your mirrors regularly. Explanation. To find out what's happening behind and to the sides of your vehicle, check your mirrors frequently. Before driving your vehicle, adjust your mirrors to show parts of your vehicle as well as what's around your vehicle. Question number 22. Which of these is important to check before driving in the winter? A. Both of the above. B. Exhaust. C. Tires. The correct answer is here, A. Both of the above. Explanation. To drive safely on snowy surfaces, your tires should be in the best possible shape. Consider exceeding the federal minimum requirements on tire tread depth, 4/32" for front tires and 2/32" for the other tires. Make sure that your exhaust system has no leaks. An exhaust leak can allow dangerous fumes to enter your cab or sleeper berth. This can be especially dangerous in cold temperatures in which you will be more likely to keep the windows tightly shut. 49 CFR 570.62. Question number 23. What is the proper way to hold the steering wheel? A. Firmly, with one hand at the top of the wheel and the other hand at the bottom of the wheel. B. With your right hand on the wheel. C. Firmly, with both hands on opposite sides of the wheel. The correct answer here, C. Firmly, with both hands on opposite sides of the wheel. Explanation. Hold the steering wheel firmly with both hands. Your hands should be on opposite sides of the steering wheel. If you hold the steering wheel with just one hand, it could pull out of your grasp if you hit a pothole or the curb. Question number 24. No matter how small the cargo is, it should have at least A. 2 tie-downs, B. 1 tie-down, C. 6 tie-downs. The correct answer is here, A. 2 tie-downs. Explanation. The rule is 1 tie-down for every 10 feet of cargo, but at least 2 tie-downs regardless of how small the cargo is. Question number 25. Which of these statements about drugs is true? A. A driver can use any prescription drug while driving. B. Amphetamines can be used to help the driver stay alert. C. Use of drugs can lead to accidents and or arrest. The correct answer is here, C. Use of drugs can lead to accidents and or arrest. Explanation. Use of drugs can lead to traffic accidents resulting in death, injury, and property damage. Furthermore, it can lead to arrest, fines, and jail sentences. It can also mean the end of a person's driving career. Question number 26. Containerized loads, A. Do not need to be inspected or secured by the driver. B. Should come with their own tie-down devices. C. Are typically used for freight carried partway by rail or ship. The correct answer is here, C. Are typically used for freight carried partway by rail or ship. Explanation. Containerized loads usually travel partway by rail or ship. They are transported by truck at the start or toward the end of their journey. Containerized loads are sealed. Usually, you are not allowed to break the seals to inspect them. However, you are responsible for ensuring that the load is secured on your vehicle and it won't cause your vehicle to exceed gross weight or axle weight limits. Question number 27. When you're driving at 55 miles per hour under good driving conditions, your total stopping distance will be A. At least 216 feet, B. At least 353 feet, C. At least 419 feet. The correct answer is here, C. At least 419 feet. Explanation. At 55 miles per hour under good driving conditions, your total stopping distance will be at least 419 feet, 142 feet of perception distance and 61 feet of reaction distance and 216 feet of braking distance. Open bracket. The length of a football field including the 2 end zones is 360 feet. Under poor driving conditions, the total stopping distance will probably be even longer. Question number 28. Which of the following is not a proper way to signal? A. Flash your signals to draw more attention. B. Signal continuously until you have completed your turn. C. Signal early. D. Turn your signal off after completing the maneuver. The correct answers here. A. Flash your signals to draw more attention. Explanation. Flashing your turn signals is unnecessary. Simply follow the rules. Signal early and continuously, and then cancel the signal after completing the maneuver. Flashing lights unnecessarily is especially dangerous at night. Question number 29. Why should you signal continuously while turning? A. It is usually illegal to turn off your signal before starting a turn. B. You need both hands on the wheel to turn safely. C. Both of the above are correct. The correct answers here. C. Both of the above are correct. Explanation. State laws usually require you to signal continuously before starting a turn. As you approach the turn and perform the turn, keep both hands on the wheel for safety. Question number 30. Which of these is not a problem associated with other drivers during night driving? A. Loss of concentration from hunger. B. Impaired vision. C. Lack of alertness from fatigue. D. Temporary blindness from glare. The correct answers here. A. Loss of concentration from hunger. Explanation. Other drivers may experience problems with their vision, glare, and fatigue that will make them hazards on the road, but hunger is not considered a problem for American drivers. Question number 31. You are driving on a straight, level highway at 50 miles per hour. There are no vehicles in front of you. Suddenly a tire blows out. What should you do first? A. Begin light braking. B. Begin controlled or stab braking. C. Stay off the brakes until the vehicle slows down on its own. The correct answers here. C. Stay off the brakes until the vehicle slows down on its own. Explanation. If a tire blows out, don't brake. Braking could cause you to lose control. Instead, let your vehicle slow itself down, then brake very gently and pull over.